So you worked within a large government organisation and now you're a small business owner in the commercialisation space. How is life different for you?
Very different, very different. If I decide that I need to go to this conference, then I just buy the ticket and I come. I don't have to put in requisitions, forms, heaven help me if I wanted to go overseas.
What are some of the challenges when dealing with research commercialisation?
Well, funny you should ask. I was walking past my supermarket the other day and I saw some plants sold for $10. Beautiful plants that you want to buy, right? And then a week later, they were looking a little bit on the dodgy dry side and they were selling for $5. 2 weeks later, they were almost dead and they sell for $2.50, or probably don't actually sell, they're about to throw them out. And I started thinking about how that applies to research commercialisation.
Yep.
Right? So if you have a fantastic idea coming out of a research organisation and you don't water it and give it consistent water, then the research idea dies. So you actually need to water it, give it funding, give it support, help it get out. And if you don't do that quick enough, the value that's there in the first place and the potential, it actually, if you try drip feeding it, if you like, it loses the value throughout. And then you end up with a dead plant instead of, a fantastic blossoming tree and apples.
And you end up with filing cabinets full of documents that,
Yes.
that never see the light of day.
Yes.
And dormant research.
Yes.
In terms of today's event, what do you want to see come out of today's event?
It was good to see that when they asked who was from research, there were research hands, who was from industry, there were industry hands, there were a few hands in between. We needed more of those hands like myself, which were technology commercialisation agents that can actually help the translation between the two. I think it was fantastic for industry and business to both be in the same room together discussing the same things.
And what do you in particular personally want to get out of today?
What I want to get out of today is more collaboration. I want to be talking with more of these people. I like the Team Australia approach that came out of Elizabeth Eastland's. And I know that the CSIRO, Marcus Zipper, said exactly the same thing. We need to collaborate. Australia is too small. And that was being reiterated throughout. I think something else that came out of it was the celebration of our successes. Stop talking about where we rank in the world and, our ranking in research is great. It is. Let's keep talking about how we can get more successes out and learn from those successes. Celebrate them.
Focus on the case studies, the examples, let it be known that we can do this stuff?
Absolutely, because when you actually go back to the universities and you get cases out of them, you find that there's an amazing lot of things that are happening there and we don't hear enough about that in the news.
Now, if I'm working within a large research organisation and I've got, an entrepreneurial feeling or I've got a great idea, should I quit my job? Should I call you? What should I do?
In the first instance, all of the research agencies have technology transfer professionals. So the first thing you should do is be knocking on their door. I work with usually the tech transfer professionals to help them when they've got great ideas and they've got a massive portfolio of things to do. Sometimes they want to focus in and give one an extra bit of love, if you like, and we come and we help organise that. Yeah.
You mentioned before that there needs to be a lot of different players. I've heard the expression the world class, was it the middle class compete, the world class collaborate? Do we need to be taking these ideas offshore?
I think some of the ideas, I think ideas collaboration around the world is a good thing to start with. So I don't think we need to be, just Australia-centric. I think we can collaborate across the world. I think there are too little resources in too many areas, too many kingdoms that don't need to be kingdoms, and you actually work on, impact, results, medicines, new foods. We need to feed the population. There's a whole heap of things that we could be working on better.
If you could change anything about the innovation ecosystem in Australia, what would you change?
I'd change the front end. So when students are coming in, we don't know about these careers in science, industry, we think science, academia. So what I'd change is I'd put a marketing subject in every science and engineering degree. I'd get the students really understanding customer need up front, and that's what drives research projects. So when they go in and they do a research project, they do it with industry to solve industry problems. And whether that's a healthcare problem, it's a food problem, it doesn't matter. It's solving problems, but it's going to have an end application.
And what would you like to see come out of today?
I'd like to see lots of conversations happening after today, not just conversations for the heck of it, but conversations to initiate great new projects and new understanding and start getting some of these changes happening. I really don't like going to something where it's just a talk fest and that nothing comes out of it. I really want to see programs happen. Like Swinburne has a fantastic PhD program. I mentioned that today because I want people to go and check it out and start putting in that sort of thing. So, you know, there's a whole heap of things we can be doing.